Welcome back to our minute-to-minute analysis of Matrix Reloaded. In our previous video of this series, Neo was confused and desperate because of his recurring nightmares of Trinity's death. The Oracle had disappeared, and Morpheus's continued path of faith in hopes that the war will end. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Today's scene begins with all the Red Pill's crew and their captains gathered in a catacomb-like location. The meeting within such a location is a reference to the Order of the Illuminati, which today is simply known as the Illuminati, a secret order of important people that meet in hard-to-reach and hidden locations such as catacombs to plan out political movements away from the influence of the Catholic Church. Captain Niobe explains that Zion is in imminent danger.
The machines are digging. They're boring from the surface straight down to Zion.
Mother. They'll avoid the entire perimeter defense.
How fast are they moving?
Control estimates their descent at 100 meters an hour.
Shit.
How deep are they?
Almost 2,000 meters.
What about the scans from the Osiris?
It can't be accurate.
They may be.
What?
It's not possible.
That'd mean there are 250,000 sentinels up there.
That's right.
The captain obtained this information from a mission she and her crewmate Ghost had accomplished. This mission occurred during the Enter the Matrix storyline, of which we may analyze in the future. In the original Matrix, part of the objective of Neo's suicide mission to rescue Morpheus was to prevent the agents from getting the access codes to Zion's mainframe. It was believed that these codes were the machine's only key to entering Zion and destroying it. Turns out, that wasn't the case. The machines found another way. Niobe reveals that 250,000 sentinels have been deployed to Zion, information that the other Red Pills refuse to believe. Their disbelief and skepticism show that they didn't fully comprehend who they were fighting against, that they naively underestimated the power of the machines. But Morpheus believed it.
That can't be.
Why not? A sentinel for every man, woman, and child in Zion.
That sounds exactly like the thinking of a machine to me.
One sentinel for every person in Zion. This disturbingly confirms that somehow the machines were aware of the total number of Zion's population, and they wanted to ensure that each one of them had a sentinel to find and kill them.
We're gonna do what Commander Locke ordered us to do. We'll evacuate broadcast level and return to Zion.
And does the commander have a plan for stopping 250,000 sentinels?
A strategy is still being formulated.
I'm sure it is.
This is the first time we see the Zion hierarchy in play, giving direct orders to the field officers, as in the hovercraft captains and their crews. Even Morpheus is expected to follow orders of another human. Next, there is a black Audi with the license plate IS 5416 approaching. Believe it or not, the vehicle's plate has a biblical reference. The letters IS refers to the book of Isaiah, and the numbers are chapter 54, verse 16, which says the following: "Behold, I have created the smith who blows the fire of coals and produces a weapon for its purpose. I have also created the ravager to destroy." This biblical text in itself has multiple interpretations, but the most accepted is that it is referring to the omnipotence of God, who created both the blacksmith, his tools for destruction, and who keeps everything under control. A possible reference to the architect of the Matrix, meaning that he was the one who created Smith. This is one of the most interesting Easter eggs, and it is the second reference to the architect and the control he possesses within the first few minutes of the sequel. Neo can sense the approaching vehicle.
I think we should
What is it?
proceed as ordered, however.
I don't know.
Neo cannot decipher who or what is approaching. What he is sensing is something unfamiliar and possibly corrupted. Neo sees the figure's matrix code, but it's in fluctuation, and thus he cannot correctly identify who it is. Neo goes to investigate, while Morpheus is once again trying to convince his fellow Red Pills to have faith in the Oracle, her prophecy, and Neo. Here is where the dichotomy between Niobe and Morpheus is presented. Niobe is a realist, Guided by logic and military magnification, Morpheus is a mystic who follows the guidance of the Oracle. He believes that there may be a solution beyond the rationale. Niobe and the other Red Pills seem to disagree with Morpheus's discourse. Back at the entrance, the black car's highlights are shining blinding light, and a single shadowed figure steps out and walks towards the door. Next to the door on the wall, there is a crude graffiti with the word Musa and the numbers 2519, which is a reference to the Book of Mormon, specifically Mosiah 25:19, which says the following: "And he did exhort the people of Limhi and his brethren, all those that had been delivered out of bondage, that they should remember that it was the Lord that did deliver them." This passage describes a state of liberation. It talks about how God is the one who liberates. We'll get back to this in a moment. Back at the meeting, Morpheus is asking that one of the ships should remain behind in case the Oracle decides to contact them. The orders from Zion were for all hovercraft to return immediately. Morpheus is betting humanity's future on the intervention of the Oracle. Here we see how much influence the Oracle has over Morpheus. One ship captain agrees to stay behind for 36 hours out of sheer curiosity. Meanwhile, there is a knock on the door, and we hear the distinguishable voice of Agent Smith. Smith, the fallen protector, possibly symbolizing the fallen angel, Luzbel. The car's headlights gave Smith a somewhat angelic look, but his voice was as calm and sinister as ever. Smith asks for Neo, and the guard who answered the door says he never heard of him. Curiously, the agent doesn't push for an answer or attacks the Red Pills. He just leaves a gift to be delivered to Neo with a message.
You see, he set me free.
Musa 25:19 is about one's liberation by the hand of God. Now it's starting to make sense. This scene is telling us that Smith was now a freed program, and Neo was the one who liberated him. Now, is Neo the God who freed Smith, or was it someone else? Someone who later is referred to as the father of the Matrix. Neo arrives just before Smith departs and asks who was at the door.
Who was that?
How did you know someone was here?
Neo could sense and see Smith's code, but he could not recognize him. What he saw was a new and corrupted version of Smith, a corruption caused by Neo and the Anomaly's code. Only after receiving the gift does Neo know that it was the agent.
He said you set him free.
Neo now knows that the agents are coming and orders the fleet to retreat. Something hits the steel door with massive force. Someone very dangerous is coming after them. During these 4 minutes of film, we saw the struggle between rationality and faith, the technological intervention, religious symbolisms, and multiple references to the father of the Matrix, the architect. These first 10 minutes of Matrix Reloaded practically spoiled massive revelations of the plot. That is, if you analyze and decipher its many Easter eggs. As we've mentioned in other videos, in The Matrix, the dialogue only conveys a fraction of the information needed to understand the story. Most of it is represented in the film's visuals. You have to observe and do the research if you want to know everything about the story. And 20 years later, we are still discovering new things about The Matrix. If you want to see our minute-to-minute analysis of the first Matrix movie, a link to the playlist will be in the description below.
For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.